You're listening to Radio Primavera Sound, proudly presented by Cupra.
Hello and welcome to Line Noise, and this week we give you two French house legends for the price of one. That is Busy P and DJ Falcon. Busy P is Pedro Winter, of course, producer, DJ, founder of Ed Banger Records, and yes, once manager of Daft Punk. He's basically the linchpin of Parisian dance. He knows everyone. And we have Stéphane Quême, who is DJ Falcon, whose very first productions became the brilliant Hello, My Name is DJ Falcon EP back in 1999, literally his first productions. He later formed half of Together with Daft Punk's Thomas Bangalter, again, another kind of classic singles. And he's currently working with Alan Braxe, who is his cousin, rather cleverly. So I spoke to them at Nitsa. It was 1 in the morning, and it was ahead of a DJ gig they were doing together. Very kind of them to do it. It was a real pleasure. So we spoke about their relationship, you know, how they knew each other. It turns out they used to live in the same house. DJing back to back. We talked about Falcon's first productions, like I said, the birth of Ed Banger having immediate success, and kind of how they keep doing it after all these years in the game, after 30 years, how they keep being happy and enthusiastic and everything. Also, Daft Punk fans, Pedro Winter gives the full background story of that night on October the 25th at the Centre Pompidou in Paris, when Thomas Bangalter returned to DJing alongside Fred again and Busy P himself. I don't think he's talked about that anywhere else, and you're going to want to hear this. You're going to want to hear the whole interview. Thanks so much to them for doing it. It was a real pleasure. I hope you enjoy it, and remember, Line Noise comes to you with the support of Cupra. So, welcome to Line Noise. It gives me such an absolute pleasure to be here with two titans of French house, French music in general. I was going to call you kings, but then...
Titan is cool, huh?
Titan is...
That's the first time.
Original.
Much more, like much more sexy than this useless word, legends, where it's very embarrassing. Titans is more cinematographic.
You'll take Titans.
Yeah.
Busy P, a.k.a. Pedro
Bonjour.
Winter, and Stéphane Quême, a.k.a. DJ Falcon. Did I say it okay?
Yeah, Falcon.
I studied French for a few years.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. So look, you're DJing here back to back at Nitsa. Why do you like DJing with each other? What do you do that makes it work? What does the other person do, maybe?
Oh, you mean when you DJ back to back?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, but first of all, with Pedro, it's been like almost 30 years that he kind of teach me DJ back in the day. We were somehow roommate. He had the apartment on top of mine, and he was the one owning turntable. And when he was at work, he let me practice. So I don't know. It's been like 30 years. So
Exactly 30 years, in fact.
yeah.
Wow.
So like tonight, maybe. So we don't even talk to. I mean, it's natural somehow. I start DJ with his vinyl. I mean, we used to mix our vinyl, like, when we start. So we don't even talk to each other. We don't need, I guess.
That's the best thing, when you don't need to practice or do a rehearsal or whatever. We take it also. We are DJs that takes it, more on the entertaining side of things rather than, trying to, to be perfect at it. In fact, our freestyle is what make it spicy, what makes it, maybe more funny and more, and it's been 30 years. So it means it's still a good recipe. And also we don't DJ together as often. So this is why it makes it a bit special tonight at Nitsa. And also it's also important for the listeners. We are using different equipments in a way. I'm DJing with my USB and turntables, while DJ Falcon is using Ableton Live, which is also a special performance, for the audience. So we are mixing both.
Two type of technique.
Yes.
So,
and when you're getting ready to DJ, do you both have a tune in your mind? You're like, yeah, that tune is going to do it. I'm gonna win. That's the tune that's going to win.
Oh, that's funny about talking about that, because when you're doing a back-to-back, that can often be I think the mistake, trying to compete each other. I'm more taking it as like Falcon is pushing me forward, like, oh, he's playing this, okay, that's a banger. How do you do like a poker? Okay, I'm doing another banger on top of a banger. Or maybe you try to take the mix on a different vibes, because also we're gonna play for approximately like 4 hours. So it's stupid to play bangers after bangers. A set needs to tell kind of a story, let's say. So it's more like a challenge. Between each other, pushing forward the other one, to take him, to the right direction.
And do you have that one song that you're like, right, okay, do you ever feel tempted, like, I'm going to put on an Ortega song, see if you can mix out of that, for example, or something really difficult? No.
Can you say it again? Sorry.
If I was DJing back to back,
Yeah.
because I'm kind of quite a bad person, I think I'd have a track that I'd put on that's impossible to mix out of, and just be like, right, Falcon, see how you get on with that.
Oh, you mean?
Yeah, but this is a bit what I was explaining before. We are not trying to, it's always because we are playing like, obviously we have some key tracks in our sets, but it's always like let's say a way to improve, the mix, and again to take your copilot, let's say. We are in this, together, rather than, like you were talking, okay, do I play this one and I'm winning? Again, we are together in this one, and
but you want to go smooth. You don't want to go brittle. Put your banger and I think it's also kind of respect. You kind of feel your partner. You get into the groove, and you can feel that your partner is ready to go for it. It's more like waiting for the moment, and it's also just to feel the crowd. It's basic. It just get into the mix, try to feel the crowd. Connect, and just connect all together. And once it's we could feel it's gonna be natural, and we're gonna go harder and harder, maybe, or it depends. But one thing I like to do sometimes is to surprise. Put a track like totally unexpected. It's cool sometimes just to surprise your partner with something unexpected,
and also a back-to-back is not a battle, like we are in it together. And
it's a teamwork.
And as Falcon said, like exactly, like the surprising track is also, very challenging, and he's good at it, because Falcon is, doing a lot of mashups and mixing, 3-4 tracks together. And sometimes, I'm only with one track or 2 tracks, and then he's putting like an a cappella on a crazy drum beat or whatever. And, but yeah, it's just a question of dynamic and energy. And but we've done quite a few back-to-back together, and it always the last one we did was this summer in Arles, I think, with Mid. So we were even 3 behind the decks, and it works well.
You mentioned it's 30 years since. How does it feel to look back on like 30 years? How do you feel like that amount of time has passed?
Well, we have a lot of fun stories to share, and now we are also wearing daddy's shoes, with special soles, to keep our ass and back safe, with big sole. And but yes, 30 years, man, fuck.
It's something I'm proud. I'm kind of it's a nice. I'm really proud about Pedro. Obviously, I mean, what the guy is, it's insane. And it's cool that we're still here, playing our stuff and
traveling. We were saying that. Look, we are in Barcelona. We had a great meal. We're gonna play one of the best, our favorite club in Barcelona. We are best friends, and I take it as a gift, and it's been 30 years, and so we have to cherish those moments and the luck we have, to be able to play music. We've been doing it for most of our life now, so because we can share. Imagine if we've been DJing for 30 years. I'll let the listener guess how old are we. Ooh la la.
Are you still as busy as ever?
More than ever.
Right.
Yeah. In fact, it's funny you're asking, because sometimes I was like, okay, of course, the years, can't be, like 2007 or 2009 forever, with the golden years of Headbanger. And in fact, the last couple of years have been more busy than ever. French music has been, in the eyes of everybody, and in the ears of everybody, and we had Justice, we have Mead, recently. Sebastian has been producing for a lot of different people, and me, I'm DJing, almost every weekend, so no times off. And still a lot of projects for the coming years, and so yeah, definitely always busy.
I mean, Stéphane, I was going to ask you. You said you were living above Pedro in the 90s. It kind of feels to me that he's been at the center of everything, right? Is that right? Kind of for when you're talking about French dance music, he's there.
No, I agree. He's been a center. I mean, obviously, the story. Managing Daft Punk. Even before that, organizing one of the first to organize club party with house music in Paris with the guy from Respect. So I'm really impressed how he maintained that, that's just forward thinking, and that's what's crazy. I mean, you don't get to see this that much, guy pushing all the time. Like we told before, like I live in Biarritz, like I can compare it to surfing with Kelly Slater. The guy's still there, like winning contests, and it's unique. It's insane. Just there's no other example for me. Guy still here pushing that much, and what I know and is true is a passionate. I think passion and Pedro, I know for sure the guy is still pushing hard, and his passion is still here. That's what impressive for me.
Well, this was going to say, like, Headbanger is now 23 years old, I believe. Is there ever a moment when you've like thought the music isn't coming through? Has there always been just like this fresh supply of new music? And
no, there are obviously some years, that it's not like a straight highway. Oh yeah, everything is doing well. We are having the best times. Obviously, that we cross some terrible dramas, in the Headbanger history with the loss of DJ Mehdi and then Philippe Zdar, and all those moments, like are very brutal, in our personal life and also as like a team and label, but the thing is, there is obviously what Falcon was saying about, being passionate, in the music. And I also take I need, like, not I take, I need to share all the credits and everything with all the artists I've been working with, for the past, 23 years for Headbanger and 30 years in a more global view. But because again, I'm not alone in this, like the whole artists are challenging me, are, inspiring me, and I'm just, I see Headbanger as a toolbox, and maybe I'm the Super Mario, but I'm here, to work with the artists. I love to be behind them. I'm also very comfortable in being, front of stage sometimes as BZP, but it's a big package that still excites me, since 23 years now. And also the challenge for Headbanger is also to try to bring new kids, a new audience, and also 23 years, which means now the listeners of Justice, of Breakboat, are the little sisters or brothers of the first hardcore Headbanger fans. So that's exciting, that's challenging, and the adventure continues.
How do you see yourself most? When you think about what you do you think yourself as like a DJ, a producer, a label owner? Like,
well, a bit of everywhere, like, again, I'm very comfortable, behind, in the DJ booth. Again, I think I've been, doing it for 30 years, but I think I will be very sad to be only a DJ, and I would be bored if I was only behind my desk every day, running a label. And I think the mix of all of it makes this whole adventure fun, because fun is everything for me. Like, there is the passion, obviously, but I'm not taking life too seriously, and my main goal is to entertain myself.
And maybe if I can say something on top, he's also taking a lot of freedom to do stuff. And that's it. That's also a key thing, because when you go with your guts, your feeling, and it's never really boring. It's not like they got a formula and they keep repeating. From my perspective, being close and see what they're doing, it was never about money. It was never about this and that. So it always sounds cliche, but when it's true, I mean, is it true? This is why I think 30 years after, it's still there. I mean, I think it's a bit the same for me. We don't, like, for example, the music I'm doing with my cousin, Alan Braxe, we're not stuck on club music. We go to some different territory. We always going with our feeling, and I think we take a lot of freedom, and maybe this is why people are following, because they understand that we do what we want, and we try to surprise a little bit also. It's just because we're curious and we want to take different road and go explore different territory. And I think this is what they did since, there's so many different artists on Headbanger since the beginning. It just showed that there's this exploration, thing, nonstop, curiosity about trying different stuff and having this group combined together with different type of, I remember there's hip hop on Headbanger. There's everything, rock, techno, everything. So I guess it's a big part of, when people think, okay, I've been 30 years, but that's the key. Being curious and keep pushing. That's the key, I think.
Well, I was going to say, you've released some excellent music over the years. I wish you'd release more music. Do you make music all the time and kind of only release it sometimes? Or
as BZP, you mean?
Yes, yeah.
No, I'm terrible at it. No, but I mean, I would. No, but I mean, I would love to spend more time, but I realize it takes time, and at the moment I don't have times off, to be in a studio. But I still, have it in my mind. I was supposed to release an album in 2004. Which I'm a bit late. Maybe it will come, I don't know. But no, it's not. But it doesn't really, kills me. I mean, like I would love, sometimes, to. But I feel also I can't finish a track alone. That's the thing, I've been luckily surrounded by my friends and some of the best, producers around. So, working with Sebastian or Mr. Oiseau or even Justice, they helped me on one of my first tracks. But maybe one day I will take the time, learn the tool, how, to because I know how to use a sampler, but I can't go until the end, So no, so new music is not the main thing for me right now.
Talking of production, Stéphane, I wanted to ask you, this is something I've always wanted to ask. Was Hello, my name is DJ Falcon. Was that really the first 4 tracks you made?
Yeah.
That's insane.
That was, so the whole story is that Pedro at the time was organizing party. And when he started working for Daft Punk, he was too busy working for them, and it was like there was a deal like somehow he concentrate on Daft Punk but somehow we, as best friend, we were like, okay, should I organize and you be my resident DJ? We kind of start a bit like this, and from those party, I got some money and bought some equipment. And before Hello, my name is DJ Falcon, I got my equipment maybe 6 months before. So, and I never really thought about releasing music. It was not in my mind, really. I was just having fun. I really enjoyed the challenge about finding tricks and I'm not a musician, but I love electronic music because it's about, I think, taste, ideas, and enjoying learning equipment and it's happened because I started making some track. I was really excited. I came to see Pedro on the Daft Tracks office, and we were listening to some of my demo, and Thomas came by accident, and it just started like this. To be honest, I was a bit shocked. I saw that Thomas were making a joke on me, but it's really all started like this.
But did you know you'd made something really good? Because that was a really good record.
Yeah, but I don't know. No, you don't know, really.
You don't know until someone is telling you.
Yeah.
So he didn't know, and it was very spontaneous. And then when you have Thomas of Daft Punk, asking you, oh, can you, what about finishing those tracks and why not releasing them on Roulé? And then I think I guess at that time it's starting to, to sparkle in your head, like, okay, let's do something. But Falcon is very funny how he's explaining, the fact that he got the equipment and then 6 months after he's dropping, like a key EP on Roulé. He has always been like that, when he's touching something, he's learning very fast and become the best at it, like it was like that for skateboarding. It was like that. I remember you were into like remote control cars, I don't know, you call it this way?
Remote control cars, yeah.
And then I remember you okay, I'm going to buy one. And then 6 months later, he had like the best one. He was putting gasoline in it.
Yeah, I'm kind of a geek and obsessed.
Like a geek, exactly.
With things, but the cool thing is that I never really felt pressure. So maybe after it was a bit tricky for me, because once I did release stuff, I felt somehow a bit of a pressure, which I didn't feel at the beginning. But
then he came up with the Cassius remix of La Mouche, which was a banger too. So I understand the pressure, but quickly, when you drop 4 tracks and then the 5th one is also, like a club hit, you were on the right. And this is the magic of dance music, because that's the very quick and early beginning of DJ Falcon career. After that, you didn't release that much music.
There was Together.
No, but of course, obviously, no. But I mean, after this, but when you drop,
because I was traveling so much. I mean, we had the opportunity to travel the world, and I think I took this opportunity. I mean, that was insane for me. I was just everywhere all the time, and because I was surfing, doing photography, I was spending my time everywhere. So I think. Compared to some other DJ, I really, benefit and enjoy this part of the DJ life. I was spending my time on flight and enjoying just traveling.
I have to say, I've seen the DJ Mehdi documentary, and it looks like you had an amazing time. I mean, all of the whole part.
Yeah, but that sorry. That's the documentary is showing quite well the collective energy, and I hope this is what people will and are keeping about this whole French electronic music, is that it's there is something very personal. There is a friendship thing for real. It's not like it's not makeup, it was like that. You had the Daft Punk crew, you have the Cassius crew, you got the the guy from Solid, Etienne de Crécy, Alex Goffer. Even though we were not spending our holidays all together, some of us were together, and travel, and obviously when Falcon and Thomas did their the Together tour. Then we had the Cassius guys. It was really like that, and this is what makes it fun and exciting for us as performers, but also for the audience to see like a bunch of guys partying together. I love the quote, since you're talking about the DJ Mehdi documentary, Romain Gavras, famous French director, calls us like the white Wu-Tang, and I love the fact that the whole French touch movement is seen as a crew.
I've got to say, that's an excellent documentary. I'd recommend anyone watch it. I mean, talking of sort of immediate success, it seemed like Ed Banger as well took off immediately with like the Justice, the first records. How did that feel?
Well, it wasn't that immediate, because the label started in 2003, and the lights on the label came, 2007, 2008, 2009, and which is fine with me. I'm not looking for immediate success. I love things when they take times. But Justice was, the second release of the label, and we came up with We Are Your Friends. So I feel very lucky. I knew when I met Xavier and Gaspard that they were special and talented, and 23 years later I wasn't wrong, but I couldn't have imagined such a brilliant career, I have to admit, but I knew they were special, and again it's like a good, like the good can I say when the planets align, together. I had like this background, obviously with Daft Punk, already having my feet in the music business and pretty well connected. And then I used this, as a platform to also introduce Justice and the rest of the Headbanger crew. And it was like the snowball effect, and yeah, on a more personal note, talking about pressure, since Falcon was talking about personal pressure on his shoulder, I had myself pressure, having this Daft Punk heritage, on my shoulder. How can I also propose something big, successful, but different, and Headbanger was this project, I wanted to introduce to the world. And I must say now with the time, I'm pretty proud of what we've done.
So it's a real pleasure to have you both here, kind of joint interview. So I've got a couple of things I want to ask. Right. Firstly, is there anything you've ever wanted to ask Pedro and you've ever wanted to ask Stéphane? What interview question would you ask each other?
I straight, when I want to say something to Pedro, I just say it. I think it was like this since the beginning.
Right.
I don't really have, to be honest, a question, but sometimes we don't, it's tough to, maybe I can take the opportunity, again, to say, how proud I am. This guy is so much positive energy. Right now, through all those gigs that I did, I met a lot of people, and for sure, everybody would tell you the same. Pedro is unique. And when I'm telling his side of the story, maybe from my side, I just see the guy with the same energy since day one. And it's just positive. Like Pompidou, what happened at Pompidou, is such a Pedro signature move for me. Just he's always excited about trying stuff, and I know. You know better than everybody the story. You called the guy a few days before, but it's such a signature move. For when I saw Thomas at Pompidou, it was a Pedro behind. It's such a and. So I don't have a question, but I want to make sure that he understand what he did for all of us. His excitement for stuff, the drive he have. The positive drive. It helped a lot of people. Mm-hmm. It helped me. It's helped a lot of people. It's helped Daft Punk. It's I don't know to say the word, but it's too humble maybe to say it, but it's a big part of this. So
I'm also healing blind people. No, I'm kidding. No, but it's nice to hear. Of course, it's but also now because talking we don't have a special question because we know each other so well. But it's true now, and it's I love we are taking the opportunity out of nowhere, in this little interview together in Barcelona. But since it's been 30 years, it's true that we are in a position today where we can sit down and look back and kind of talk about the achievement and the collaboration and the work but in a way it has and it's not being humble it's definitely like a collective success and maybe I'm the driver for sure I am on the front seat of the thing but I just feel very lucky to have been at the right place at the right time. That's for sure. The luck is part of something. After that, we all have our different energy, and it's true that I'm more capable than other people to reunite, artists, and of course, Centre Pompidou with Fred again and Thomas was something I had in mind, and I can also share you a little secret on this mic, but when we started to work on this Because Beaubourg event, 3 months before the show, I started an email to Thomas. I started an email like, okay, I'm working on this big show for the 20 years anniversary of Because Music and the closing of Centre Pompidou. Isn't it the best moment for you to come back in the DJ booth would you be down to DJ with me for the Headbanger party? I almost sent the email, but I deleted it. I didn't send the email to Thomas because I was like, okay, even though we don't work together anymore, but we are close friends. And sometimes I don't want, like, okay, maybe he's going to get bored of all of us always asking, oh, do you want to do that? Even though I'm pretty respectful with, his choice, his life choices being, away from the music world or the DJ scene. So I didn't send him this email. And in French, we call it acte manqué. I don't know how can I translate when you're, can you translate it, Ben, in English?
Like a missed opportunity?
Exactly, kind of like that. Like maybe with a more poetic vibe in French. But exactly like and then I had this idea of bringing Fred again, of course. And then maybe a month before the show, I had a lunch with Thomas, and I felt a window to get him, on board, and I felt, he was interested, when you get the interest from Thomas, you don't, lose it, and but yeah, so what I mean, why I'm sharing this story is just because also there is always this little, star above your head and the luck, and you have to get that luck. If you're just watching sometimes, and it's not happening. So so I feel very lucky.
And also, Thomas had a good history with Pompidou. He used to spend so much time over there, like when he was studying, and he was his second home, almost. So all combined, he made it really, really special.
In fact, you're right to mention that, because I think he accepted to DJ at Centre Pompidou because the museum means something for him. As Falcon is saying, there is a huge library where most of the students in Paris are working there on the, after school. And also, that's a story maybe few listeners know about that. But in 1992, a rave was on the top of the Centre Pompidou. Soma was the name of the rave, nothing to do with the label. And this is in a way where he discovered electronic music with Giban. So this whole circle, it was a circle, this is definitely, he didn't accept to DJ for my beautiful eyes. He accepted DJ because he knew, it means something. And yeah, it was magical.
So I know you've got to go and DJ. I want to ask one final thing, if I may. Maybe you want to think about it for a bit, but what's your favorite? I want to know what your favorite thing is about each other. Like, it can be a tune, it can be a DJ set, or something like that.
I have the answer already.
Okay, go on.
I don't need much time to think about that. What I love with Falcon is that it's complete, and also it's something for the younger people to listen. But he's my best friend. He's probably one of the person I can trust the most on this planet. And he's
Are you sure?
And he's the opposite of me. The yin and the yang. Know, and that's, I think that's very important especially at a time today. When differences, or like people are saying, oh, we just need to be the same together, and yeah, we probably have like completely different lifestyles, but we see the life the same way, and so that was my call. This is what I love with him.
Do you have a favorite tune?
Favorite
tune
of Falcon?
Yeah.
Oh, favorite tune of Falcon? Together. Together is definitely one. First, for the meaning of the song, like as a scream of, because even though it's electronic music and it's a club track, there is always a meaning, when Falcon is doing something, even though it's a joke or something, but there is always feelings, he hides, feelings behind fun or stuff like that. But together is definitely like a call for unity.
How about you? What's your favorite thing about Pedro, about Busy P? A tune, or something? How he is, or?
Yeah, I would say more the way he is than a tune. Of course, if I can choose I love what he did, Rainbow Man. If you ask me for a track,
a tune.
But it's also it's a rainbow. So. But
I love the cover of that record.
Yeah. I say plenty of things.
You already said a lot, huh?
Yeah, I think. But
merde, I'm DJing. I didn't know.
I know. Well, this is why I don't want to keep you
in 5 minutes.
Man, I didn't know. Sorry, Ben.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. We'll end it there. But thank you so much
which means we are not bullshitting. We are in the backstage of Nitsa.
No, exactly. I could go on for hours, but I think the people are.
I didn't. Yeah. Oh la la! I need my 15 minutes warm up.
Right. Let's end it there. Thank you so much.
See you on the dance floor.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
Bisous.
You're listening to Radio Primavera Sound, proudly presented by Cupra.